we're going to have three main themes that underpin everything we announce at Ignite. The first is this notion of AI and the flow of human ambition, keeping human ambition at the center, your unique value in transformation. The second being this idea of ubiquitous innovation and the fact that there's a maker in every one of us, and the Frontier firm has makers in every room of the house, and we want to ignite that spark of innovation inside of every one of them. And then the third thing we're going to talk a lot about is this notion of observability, how to get your arms around all of your AI artifacts so that you understand the ROI in AI, you understand how to govern and manage all of your AI solutions, and make sure that you're actually really driving the outcomes that you are inspired to achieve. But Accenture and Microsoft have been doing a lot with customers already, even in this effort of helping customers become Frontier. And maybe, Julie, just your perspective on what it means.
When we fundamentally think about how you become Frontier, it is embracing the idea that you really need to reinvent everything that you do using the power of AI, data, and technology, and really reinventing the ways that you work. And so when we think about Frontier firms and how we're jointly helping them, is we are bringing together what is the most powerful technology, certainly in our lifetimes, to emerge as a brand new set of tools, for us individually and as companies, and then working together to pair that with a deep understanding of how to reinvent the ways you work, the processes, upskill your talent, think differently to actively innovate this to achieve new frontiers. And those frontiers are frontiers in productivity and financial performance, in creativity, in well-being. And in fact, it just opens up a world of possibilities that literally just a few years ago, we didn't have.
A lot of what we're observing with customers is that this, first couple of years of experimentation with generative AI have led to a lot of random acts of innovation, and that the key really is about focusing AI for growth. While it's true, I think in the early days, there's been a lot of focus around efficiency and automation, and really the ambition here around becoming Frontier is obsolescing the mundane to unlock creativity and innovation and democratize intelligence, enable customers to be and reach their potential in the market or the industries where they compete. We've seen that manifest itself in four pillars pretty consistently. If you think about it, enriching the employee experience. You want the best folks to come work for you. You want to nurture their careers, empower them with great capabilities in AI. You want to have stronger customer relationships and reinvent those relationships with hyper-personalization and the types of capabilities that AI can bring to bear there. There's a whole surface area around reshaping business process where we've been deeply engaged with a lot of customers by industry. And then there's also this notion of bending the curve on innovation, really accelerating the development of new products and driving to new levels of growth for a given company. But Julia, you and I travel in similar circles and get a lot of common market feedback. And it's balanced, I think, across the board.
As attractive as productivity is and should be to each of us and our clients, we began together, very early on to say that the most successful organizations will have a clear growth strategy that is enabled by AI. And so I can't emphasize enough, and it's really the shift that we've been seeing in the last 6 to 12 months of clients waking up to that. I think because initially Gen AI seemed so easy to use, there was some idea that maybe the productivity could go fast, right? And it's really hard for the reasons we talked about. You have to actually reinvent, rewire the organization. But I think the other really important feedback that we're hearing and we're helping companies understand is that AI is not the end in itself. Everything starts with your business strategy. And in fact, oftentimes people are trying to jump to advanced AI before they've done the basics of, understand their processes, get the right organization in place. They have too many experimentation because they're doing everything within their silos. And so if you start with the business strategy and then you look at the intersection of tech readiness and org readiness, that begins to then lay out a plan that will get you what I sometimes call real reinvention,
Mm.
RR, right?
Mhm.
Because there's a lot of theory, but actually right now there is so much that can be unlocked with the technology today, let alone the promise of that technology, which of course Microsoft continues to innovate. And there's so many exciting things ahead. But right now there's a lot of power in the technology that exists today.
So beyond all of the efforts that we have around helping customers become frontier and unlock all of this innovation and creativity, we really have a deep focus together, Julie, on securing all of those assets because AI enters into a whole new realm of a need to have strong observability and governance. Maybe you could talk about your perspective on security in the era of AI.
Security is absolutely one of the critical enablers. In fact, I often talk about that's an infinitely growing market because the more, right, the companies digitize, the more that they use AI, the more security that is needed. And so I think about the work that we're doing at Nationwide, where we've really, bent the curve on how to identify the threats, how to take the data to actually create the use cases that allow them to be more resilient, how to do that at 40% faster than they'd been doing before, and really create a whole new level of resilience and security is quite important. And when we think about the broader Microsoft suite and the ability to put that suite in and simplify so that you can focus and invest in the newest areas is absolutely critical. And it's something that you've been really investing in for years to enable clients to have that simple, effective security scaffolding. And I'm really excited about that work. And I think it's important to not overlook the security aspect as we all move to AI-enabled organizations. So, Judson, now a question for you. We are doing so much work together, really helping clients do real reinvention with AI. What's your favorite customer story where we're working together?
Such a hard question, Julie, because it's a little bit like which one's my favorite child in the family that we both serve together. I have to say that top of mind for me though right now is the work we're doing at Nestle because I think it is really both revolutionary and also speaks to this notion of unlocking growth with AI transformation. We've done some really interesting work in the field of digital twins, which you and I have done a lot of work on the manufacturing side, but this is actually putting digital twins to work in marketing. So the solution that we've built for Nestle actually enables them to model products in the way that they come to life for customers, be able to simulate infinite ways in which they can personalize those solutions for customers and actually do real live market testing. That's far more efficient than the way that they used to do it, but also actually unlocks new ways and new channels to market and actually even new product development. You can use a digital twin in marketing to effectively iteratively refine product strategy on the go. And Nestle is very proud of it. I'm certainly very proud of it. And we'll talk actually a little bit more about it next week at Ignite. But that's just one example of the many that we have worked on together. And of course, we'll keep on working on many, many more in the future.
Thank you, Judson. Love our partnership and good luck for what I know is going to be an amazing Ignite.